Hey guys, so Lloyd here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Rogue as she appears in the Age of Apocalypse storyline. So that, of course, means she is a part of the Colossus Build-A-Figure wave. Speaking of which, she comes with the final piece to our Colossus Build-A-Figure, the left arm here, which, just look at this guy. Aside from this knee being a little loosey-goosey, I'm not a fan of that. He's really awesome, man. I really dig this figure. Again, a little loose in the knees. It's kind of weird for a bath. I'm used to them being stiffer than a board, but I have had his knee bent for a little over a day now. Of course, for the final thoughts pose, for those of you who are new to the channel, I always pose them up for that. Getting back to Rogue, as far as accessories for her go, she just comes with a couple hands. Which seems to be a pattern with this wave. They at least gave them accessories. Quote-unquote accessories. I know some people don't consider alternate hands accessories. I, myself, don't mind options, but at the end of the day, I do like some showcasing of powers, as it were. And unfortunately, Rogue's kind of hard to do that. Always seems to be a problem with Rogue figures, not really being able to showcase Rogue's power set. That said, I'm going to be honest with you, this is probably my least favorite figure in this wave thus far, which is a shame because I wanted to like this figure, but at the end of the day, if I don't like something, I just don't like it. Not going to force myself to either. You're probably wondering why? What is possibly wrong with this figure? Well, really the hair is kind of weird. It's just kind of all up in the front so she can't look down. Hardly at all. Which that's not that big a deal. The big deal is her head sits too high on the neck. I mean, look at that. I can see the hinge and the ball. My vision's not that great and I can see that, folks. That's not ideal. I would have rather the hair been behind her to hide that than be all up in the front and look kind of, I don't know, that looks kind of stupid to me, but if that's how it is, that's just how it is. There's nothing you can do about it. But it just, this is not a good hair sculpt. Here, this top part's kind of cool. I don't mind that, but this all up in here is kind of whatever. Even though it does allow her to look up, there's this stupid collar piece that pops out. I'll have to maybe glue that down. But if I can get her to look up here, that's a little unnatural for looking up pose, if I'm being honest. Looks like someone pulled her head back and broke her neck. So, yeah, she's got the infamous, the dreaded lollipop syndrome going on. I mean, if I turn it to the side like that, it's easier to see. Like, her neck should not, like, that's her whole neck. Her head should be covering like a quarter of that. I don't know, it just sits too high for me. It looks weird. She does have good tilt and up and down because of it, but it just looks off aesthetically. Like, her shoulders are down here. Her head is up, her chin is up here. I don't know, it seems like there's a big gap there. Which, if anyone's going to trade blows about this, there's a good example. Shoulder to chin ratio's pretty decent. No gap, no lollipop, and yet you still get enough range to look up, look down, and even tilt. And it's even more natural because you don't have that hinge in there, and the ball peg allows you to get a little bit more natural head movement. So, Kitty Pryde, really awesome. I like this figure, or Shadow Cat, excuse me. Rogue, I hate the way they did the head. I wish I was a double ball peg. It just looks better. Other than that, from the neck down, this figure's alright. So shoulders go out to the side pretty far. We go back down. Move forward and back. I'm not sure if we've seen these before or not. I would assume so. Elbows Nice and tight. They do rotate and hinge there. I think they're the same as Kitty Pryde, or Shadowcat. Gee whiz. She does have a swivel and a hinge in the wrist. And a collar that keeps popping out. She does have a peg hole on the back. So is this an old torso? I guess it is. I'm not too sure where it comes from, though. She does have a diaphragm joint. Does work pretty well. I'll give her that. Hips kick out to the side, and not very far, but whatever. And they do kick forward and back. Thigh cut. She does have a belt piece. Stays on there pretty good. Pinless double jointed knees, which are really stiff. So, be wary of that. Then she does have a hinge in the foot with a rocker joint. She does have kind of the Mega Man boots going on, too. Which I like that. Peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So, there you go. That's Rogue in a nutshell. Not a bad figure, but not. I don't think it's as good as people are making it out to be. At least in my opinion. So with that being said, let's take a look at some comparisons. First up here is Rogue next to the rest of the Colossus Build-A-Figure wave that I've already taken a look at on the channel. And I know there is one missing. Talk about that in a minute. But, of course, we have Shadowcat. Haha, got the name right. Iceman, Fabioclops, or Cyclops, as everyone else likes to call him, and Wayne Static, or Legion, excuse me. And yeah, she looks good with the rest of the Age of Apocalypse crew. I don't have that first wave handy to compare to also, but I would say these guys would all look great on a display. If I had to rank these guys quick, I'd probably put, I don't know, it's either between Iceman or Sabretooth for first place, then Shadowcat, then probably Legion, then Cyclops, then this Rogue, because that neck thing is just, it's keeping me from liking this figure a lot more. Cyclops, I can kind of forgive the inaccuracies just because his anatomy is correct, but Rogue, the neck just seems a bit too long. And speaking of which, let's get these two out of here for a minute. Here she is next to Sabretooth, who I just decided to leave off cam because he's so freaking massive. There you go. There she is next to Sabretooth. At this time, I do not have her hubby, Magneto, but that figure does look really cool, and I plan on picking it up at some point in the near to distant future to kind of round out the set, And last, but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, and the 11 Spawn, who as usual, towers over everyone. So with that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and while I know that Hasbro's getting a little bit better with the female form as far as the Marvel Legends line goes, I think G.I. Joe Classified Series is in pretty good shape, along with Star Wars Black Series. That said, of the female figures of this wave, I still think Shadowcat's the better of the two. Not to say that this figure is bad or anything as far as the body sculpt and all that goes, but I just feel like the torso needs work and the head just doesn't sit right. I don't know, it just seems like it's a bit too high for my liking, and it just looks kind of weird, almost like she's got some lollipop going on there, which is something I haven't said about a Marvel Legends female in a long time. And the Shadowcat didn't have that problem, even though she had the double ball peg. But if that keeps us from getting lollipop syndrome, even though it doesn't give you as much range, I'll take it, because I'm an aesthetic guy before a functionality and articulation guy. That's just how I roll. I like nice looking things as opposed to nice-ish looking things that I can pose the crap out of, because I don't do a whole lot of that to begin with. So it's nothing that really affects me, but I do know a lot of people prefer the disc hinge to the double ball peg. I'm just not one of those people, and I think it would fix a lot of the lollipop syndrome that this line suffers from time to time, and I think this is definitely one of those times. So with that being said, if you want a Rogue from this storyline, look no further. This is far superior than any of the previous versions. I know there's probably a couple out there from Toy Biz, but let's face it, the faces on those are just kind of, well, yeesh. So, if anything, this is a mild improvement to those. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one. So we've got to show that algorithm who's boss, right? If you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil. The world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.